Passport Mommy with Michelle Jerson is a show about the journey of motherhood. Joining you on your greatest adventure, here's Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy.
I'm Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy, and welcome to the show. I am thrilled to have a great lineup of guests today, but first we are going to speak with Jessica Pawl. She oversees PR for the Honda brand for the Eastern U.S. She's been with the company for 5 years. And Jessica, I recently test drove the CR-V for a week. You were so gracious to lend it to me to see what it was like, because I was telling you that I am in the market for a new family vehicle. We've had somebody on the show in the past to talk about the Odyssey, which is an amazing minivan, and the Honda Pilot. But I wanted to have you on today to talk a little bit about this CR-V, because it is one or the best-selling SUV in America for the past 21 years. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Michelle. Thanks for having me. You hit the nail on the head there. CR-V is indeed the best-selling among American consumers within its segment, and we actually just hit 22 years. So
wow. Congratulations. So I have to ask, because I've gone out and I've test driven a lot of cars in the class of the CR-V, and what just puts that CR-V on top of its class for 22 years?
You know, I think there's a lot of factors involved in that. The first one is that CR-V really hits a sweet spot when it comes to what shoppers are looking for. You know, a lot of folks lately, especially if you look among family, friends, and neighbors, are angling toward larger vehicles. So people who have had sedans in the past might be looking for something that offers a little bit more cargo space, especially if they have children in tow and they've got car seats in that second row. CR-V, on top of kind of offering cargo and getting you a little bit higher off the road in terms of a seating position, also offers excellent fuel economy. And on top of all that, because it's a Honda product, it is known for its reliability. And one of the other perks is the residual values that our products offer. So when a customer goes to actually sell a CR-V 5 years or 10 years down the road, they know that they'll be getting one of the highest resale prices for it.
Right, which is huge, because I know I've been deciding whether to lease or to buy the CR-V. And I thought, well, maybe I would lease it because in 3 years, maybe I'll want to get a bigger vehicle like the Pilot or the Odyssey. Mm-hmm. But then, like you said, the resale value is so good that maybe it makes sense to buy.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we see a lot of folks doing just that with Honda products.
And so tell me a little bit more about Honda's features, because the Honda Sensing is standard on the EX and the higher trims, and it really offers a wide array of features, which I think is obviously the number one priority for a lot of moms and families.
Yeah, absolutely. So the CR-V that you spent time in, the 2019, is actually part of our 5th generation of CR-V product. It was totally redesigned and re-engineered. And some of the things that were included in that last update were new styling, an updated interior that feels more premium. And it was the first time ever that we also gave CR-V a turbocharged engine. So that offers more refined and responsive performance, better fuel economy. And then, as you mentioned, Honda Sensing. So Honda Sensing is a suite of safety and driver assistive technology. Some people might wonder what exactly that means. So there's a variety of different things that are included in that package. And I can walk through a couple of them with you here. So collision mitigation braking, forward collision warning, that's kind of that beep if you're getting too close to the car in front of you that will alert you to hit the brakes. And if for some reason you don't hit the brakes, collision mitigation braking system can actually kick in and bring the vehicle to a stop for you if it senses an impending collision. Also, technologies like lane keeping assist, which will help keep your vehicle centered in between, in between the lane markings on the highway. Adaptive cruise control with low speed follow, which actually allows the vehicle to slow to a complete stop if you're in traffic on the expressway as well. So a lot of different technologies that not only help to keep the driver safer, but help to reduce driver fatigue. So when you're on long road trips, and you've been in the car for several hours at a time, you may not be your very most alert self, and the car can help you in that sense. One other thing that's unique to CRV that we offer is called the driver attention monitor. So that's actually a technology that's continually monitoring the steering input from a driver to gauge the driver's level of awareness. And if it senses that the driver is becoming inattentive, it will actually warn them to take a break. And on top of the cool factor of that, it's kind of cute because it's a little like cappuccino cup that shows
Right. I've seen that
on your dash. Yeah. I like that one.
Yeah, it's really great. When I was at the dealership and they first showed me that, I laughed and he's like, "No, but it's serious." I said, I know, but it's a very cute way of showing it. But yeah, I love that it has all of those safety features, and it's comforting to know that there are so many CRVs on the road, that all these people have this Honda sensing, because it is a great suite of safety features. And I know as a mom, that is a big priority for me. And I have to say that when I drove the CRV, I loved how roomy it felt. And like you said, it gives you that cargo space that you're looking for with the fuel economy. So it really is the perfect package because it looks great inside and out. It has, I think, probably one of the largest cargo spaces of its class. I know when I've compared it to different SUVs in different, whether it was Ford or Toyota, it always seems to come out on top a little bit, even if it's just a little bit more than some of the others.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So CRV offers more than 100 cubic feet of passenger cabin volume, which is huge for that type of compact crossover. And one of the areas that we really excel in with CRV is legroom in the rear seat. So there's plenty of space back there, especially if you have older kids that are routinely sitting in that second row, and ones who are growing quickly at that. But in addition to kind of that space in the second row, there's also a 60-40 split in the rear seat, which makes stowing oddly shaped cargo items a little bit easier. And, while we're talking about loading up the trunk, we also have the hands-free access power tailgate. So if you've got an armful of groceries or luggage or whatever it is, you can actually open the tailgate of the vehicle by simply kicking underneath the bumper with the key in your pocket.
Which is a great, great feature. I know, especially like you said, when you're carrying groceries, you might have your toddler in one hand or even the stroller that you can't let go of. Is that standard on all of the trim lines or comes with certain ones?
It is not standard across the board, but it comes with our higher trims. Yes. Yep. And then some other features as well, if you're thinking about kids in the car, up to 4 USBs. So on EX and above, you get 4 USB outlets for charging all of your devices. Also Apple CarPlay and Android Auto that connect through the primary infotainment system. And this is a little one, but we heard a lot of customer gripes when we took away the volume knob and had an actual, touch screen adjuster as well as the steering wheel volume adjuster. So we brought back the volume knob on the latest model that you have. That way, when you need to quickly turn down that volume without even thinking about it, you can go ahead and do that to, grab a phone call or get the attention of everyone else in the vehicle or whatnot.
Great. And that's important. And I love how you listen to people's feedback and make those adjustments. I want to talk to you so much more, but we are almost out of time. So tell me a little bit about where people can go to read more about the CRV Honda vehicles in general, and just some quick tips if anybody's looking. We have 1 minute left.
Yeah, absolutely. I would direct people to the Honda site. You can easily go there and find information about all of our light trucks. So that includes from our smallest crossover, the HRV, to CRV one step up, and then above that, Passport, which is all new for 2019, and then the 3-row Honda Pilot. And if you've got even more children to fit into a car, Honda Odyssey. You'll also find all of the details on that site. So whatever your family needs are, hopefully Honda has a product that that you find interesting and can spend a little bit more time learning about.
Absolutely. Jessica Pawl, thank you so much for joining me today. I am a lifelong Honda fan. I am still holding on to my 2004 Honda Civic, but traded in when I upgrade to the CRV or possibly the Passport. Thank you so much for your time today. I'm Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy. More coming up in a few.
Passport Mommy with Michelle Jerson. Passport Mommy with Michelle Jerson is a show about the journey of motherhood. Joining you on your greatest adventure, here's Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy.
And excited to have our next guest on the show, Kristen Lilla. She is Nebraska's only certified sex therapist and supervisor. She has a private practice seeing individuals and couples and has also worked at Girls Incorporated of Omaha for 6 years as the director of sex education. And in addition to just being committed to providing comprehensive, medically accurate, and inclusive sex education, she is a published author and co-creator of, get this, the world's first vagina pop-up, which appears in her book, Vaginas and Periods 101, a pop-up book. Hi, Kristen.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thanks for joining me today. So it's funny, when I first became aware of your book, I thought, oh my gosh, a pop-up book for that. And I think it's brilliant because I think teens and adults alike are confused about what's going on down there. They don't even know, even as they get older.
Absolutely. It's true. Absolutely. I see it in, both when I teach sex education, but also in private practice and just having to offer that educational component to people.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about who the book targets and what it includes.
Yes. We're so excited. So the book kind of came out of from teaching sex education classes and really just having lots of youth, girls in particular, saying, am I normal? Is that normal? Am I supposed to look like that? And so we felt like we needed a better opportunity that was more fun for them to be able to learn. So a lot of the books we found were long, a lot of them are shame-based, and a lot of them talk about other materials. So they're talking about acne and body odor, menstruation, and all of that stuff is definitely important. But we wanted something that was kind of straightforward, to the point, but got rid of all of that lengthy words and was fun. So the exciting part about the book is we collaborated with an artist. So it's got lots of colorful graphics, lots of characters in there. They're non-binary, different races. So we've got some diversity, and it starts out right away with the pop-up, and there's a pop-up vulva. And so it's all accurate and has a little graphic in the corner that points out all of the body parts for the external genitalia. And then on the next page, it goes right into talking about internal genitalia and talking about menstruation and talking about why people get a period and what do you do about a period, right? And normalizing those first questions, there's all this blood, am I dying? And then it goes into talking about different menstrual products. We found too that we talk about pads and tampons, but we don't talk about a lot of the other options. And there are so many other options, and we want people to be educated about what those options are. So we talk about cloth pads and reusable underwear and sea sponges and menstrual cups. And then the book concludes with talking about cervical mucus and what's normal. It's normal to have that discharge, and then wraps up with some resources. So all in all, it's about 14 pages. Pretty quick, but answers lots of questions. So definitely geared, at anybody that's starting to menstruation. So around that 8 to 12 range, but depending on the conversations you're having with your kiddos, could certainly introduce it at a younger age as well.
And I think it's terrific because I do feel that you're right. A lot of people think, oh, it's taboo. We can't talk about this, or we shouldn't be getting a book like this. But to have a book that really is just quick, to the point, and explains everything, I think to the confused and teenage girl or even younger, like you said, it's directed at ages 8 to 12 because people are experiencing it before their teenage years. It's wonderful. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And the characters are all they're all kid age. And so they're the ones that tell the story, right? So getting away a little bit from that adult component too of adults know best, right? It's the kids that are telling the story and educating one another about what's happening to their bodies.
Yeah, that's terrific. And I think this is a great book for adults too, because the thought of having to have this conversation when my daughter is 8 years old is very scary. But
Absolutely.
But to have something like this, it really breaks it down, and it's a great conversation starter and an entertaining gift as well, right? Like a really good gift to give a friend or family member.
Absolutely. And I think that was, first and foremost, we wanted it to be educational for youth, but it's kind of a cute bachelorette party idea too, right? I mean, everybody that's kind of seen the pop-up bulb goes, oh my gosh, And the second comment is, I wish this book would have existed when I was young.
Right, exactly. Or you can even give it to your husband to be, or your husband and say, here you go, get a little educated.
Yes. And it's been cool we've had dads too that are like, I want to be the one to have these conversations. And so they've learned something from reading the book, and then they can have those conversations.
Yeah, that's terrific. So tell me, where can people go to find the book and to find more information on you and your practice?
Yeah, so the book is available at sexedtalk.com, and you can find more about me at KristenLilla.com, KristenLilla.
Thank you, Kristen Lilla, for joining me today. I'm Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy. And don't forget, you can check us out and follow us on social. Instagram, it's Passport Mommy. Same with Twitter and Facebook, also Passport Mommy. And you can head to the website, passportmommy.com. And we always have contests and giveaways. So if you sign up for our mailing list, you'll automatically be entered into all of our giveaways. And you can always email me as well with any questions or topics that you would like to hear. Michelle@passportmommy.com. More coming up in a few.
Passport Mommy with Michelle Jerson. Passport Mommy with Michelle Jerson is a show about the journey of motherhood. Joining you on your greatest adventure, here's Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy.
I'm thrilled to have with me Julie Floyd, because not only is she the owner of Classic Kids Photography, which has studios around the U.S., but she is quite an impressive woman besides owning all of these photography studios. She is a mom to 4 boys ranging in age from 28 down to 12, her husband of 30 years, and she had 3 boys very quickly and then had 1 more 11 years after the last was born. And now he is her best travel partner. She travels the world with him and just balances so much. Julie, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you. I'm very, very happy to be here.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit. I mean, you must have your hands full and have had your hands full for many years.
Well, that's for sure. It's not for the faint of heart, but I wouldn't have it in any other way. I am, I've been busy for 25 years and continue to be extremely busy, but I love every minute of it. So it's a pleasure.
That's terrific, because you started your career as a lawyer with the world's largest law firm doing international tax planning. And then you completely shifted gears, which I give you a lot of credit for, because I feel like there are many women who would like to explore other interests. And not only did you go after what you loved, but you built such a successful business of it. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, yes, I went to Northwestern Law School and did well and, secured a job doing international tax planning of all things. I felt like that would be a career where I would be secure, and I heard there was a lot of money to be made there. And so, being all of 20 years old, making this decision, I decided that would be a good thing for me. So I went through law school. Loved every minute of it. It was very exciting, intellectually stimulating, but soon after I graduated, and the practice was not nearly as exciting as law school was. So I found myself, as a young associate with books on top of my lap, fighting to keep my eyes open, reading about foreign sales corporations and, Section 1032 transactions and whatnot. So I did not love what I did. And, when I complained to my husband, he would tell me that, well, it's work. That's why they pay you. If it was fun, they wouldn't be paying you. So I kind of, I did that for about 6 years. And maybe, 4 years into it, I got pregnant and decided that, I was going to go part-time with my law firm. And at that point, I had my son photographed by a woman whose work I greatly admired. Her name is Vic Orenstein at Kid Shooters in Minneapolis. Actually, she renamed her business to Kid Capers.
Okay.
But at any rate, I worked for her, or I took my son in to be photographed by her, and she did such a beautiful job, and I loved her work and admired her so much. And I just had one of those moments that I just knew that I was destined to do something different than the law. And I thought, my gosh, what a fun job. You get to run around in your stocking feet and play with these little beautiful children all day, and you have this wonderful job, and I'm with my law book. So at that point, I asked her, how does one become a photographer? And she told me to come work for her. So she wasn't going to pay me anything, but told me that she would teach me what I needed to know, and that if it was meant to be, that I would go on and have a career in photography. So
amazing.
I kept my job, in the law 3 days a week, and worked for her the other couple of days a week, and eventually just decided to leave the law entirely and go into photography. And I started my first studio, and that was 25 years ago.
Incredible. And now you have studios around the country. You have 2 in Manhattan. You have 1 in Connecticut. Tell me what other locations Classic Kids is located in.
We have 3 in the Chicago area, in Hinsdale, downtown Chicago, and my home suburb, which is Winnetka, Illinois. And then we have 4 studios in California, 1 in Newport Beach, 1 in Santa Monica, 1 in Burlingame, and 1 in Los Gatos, which is suburban San Jose.
Got it. Not a bad place to visit. I'm sure you do a tour of all of your studios quite frequently.
I do. I'm there quite a bit, and there is a lot of travel involved, but like you said, they're wonderful places to visit.
Yeah. So whether you live there and you would like to get a shoot done for your family, a newborn shoot or maternity shoot, or maybe you're visiting the area, it's a great place to look up, because I think to be able to take photographs while you're traveling is one of the best things, because everybody's in such a good mood and you're celebrating not only whatever occasion you're celebrating for the photos, but also the fact that you're all together as a family, or maybe you are with your child alone, and what a great moment to capture. So tell me a little bit, walk us through what goes on at Classic Kids Photography if we were to book a session with you.
Oh boy, to condense that down, we would have you, if you called to book a shoot with us, you would first book a pre-shoot consultation. If you're in town visiting, we can make that short, but it's just really to introduce you to what we do, and then also to discuss clothing options, and to find out what your needs are and what your hopes and dreams are, and how you would like to use our imagery in your home as artwork. We're first and foremost, our goal is first and foremost to produce art for your home and display art. If you're looking for a shoot and burn photographer where they just shoot and sell, give you the images, that's not us. We really don't want you to have images in a drawer on a little thumb drive. We want you to have beautiful, beautiful wall art for your home. So we do, both black and white and color imagery. So you would come in, have a pre-shoot consultation. We would kind of plan the shoot, figure out what we wanted to focus on in your shoot. Then you would come in for your actual shoot, which is basically a big play date. Your kids have a blast. We have a blast running around with your kids and styling different shots and styling your family photos. And, we just have a lot of fun during our shoots. Probably a week later, as much as 2 to 3 days later, or as few as 2 to 3 days later, sometimes up to 2 weeks, we'll have you come in for your view and order session, where we have this amazing design software where we will take images from your home, and we can actually put the imagery that we shoot on your walls in the exact size, the exact frame that you would like on your walls. So we spend quite a bit of time after the shoot planning for what will actually go on the walls in your home, so that there's no guesswork. You can actually see the images that you love in the exact spot above your couch or, a gallery wall for your upstairs hallway or whatever that is. We also, we do have other types of frames. All of our fine canvas work comes with frames, but we have a lot of pretty ginormous, actually, frame collection. So you can pick any of our custom frames, and we can have your pieces framed for you, all done in-house. So that's pretty much the process. We do have quite a few. Well, not quite a few. We have several really, really special proprietary products that we offer that no one else has. And one of those is our hand-soldered artwork, which is basically a fine art print that's been hand decal edged, and it's enclosed between two pieces of glass and then actually soldered by a jewelry maker in our lab in Skokie, Illinois.
Which I think is great that you have a local lab that you send all of your photos to, because as opposed to going to some places where they have to send it to an online photo lab. So I think that's really nice that you have your own lab and it really keeps it in-house.
I couldn't agree more. In fact, I think that's one of the things that makes Classic Kids the most special, because we have a lab staff of approximately 15 people, and all they do all day long is work on Classic Kids work and our special proprietary products. And, we can only afford to do that because we have 10 studios. If we didn't, we wouldn't be able to do that. And we'd be in the same boat as all the other photographers where they're sending their work out to be done by another lab, an outside lab.
Right.
And the outside labs produce for many, many people, and they don't know the look specifically of your work. So our lab artisans know exactly how to produce the exact quality that we need for Classic Kids.
Yeah. And I think that's amazing. And the fact that you said that you go out and you look at somebody's home and you figure out exactly what they need, because I am the worst at that. And I have to admit that I want nothing more than family pictures on our walls. And I have so few. And I'm just not good at figuring that out. So to be able to know that I'm going to you and getting more than just a hard drive when I leave is great.
That's, it's funny because that you hit the nail on the head. A lot of people think what they want are digital images because it will give them more options and they'll have more printing options down the road. And I fully support buying a digital file and having a digital file for later. But if you don't have the artwork that goes along with it, you're really not doing yourself any favors. I think it's so complicated when someone gives you, 300 images and they just give you the digital files, and then you're left to your own devices to figure out which are the best images. It's so hard to be objective when you're a parent about what the
Right.
best, quality images are. And then whether they should be black and white or color, how big they should be on the walls, what the frame selection should be, because this is an investment and you want the best result for your investment. And to have the experts, the artists helping you pick out your imagery exactly, telling you what the recommended sizes would be and how to group them up so that they're attractive is really invaluable.
Yeah, it's so true. And I have to say that when I first contacted Classic Kids, I said, I just want a digital package. I just want as many digital photos as I could get. And then I started realizing all these photo shoots that I've done since my daughter was born, and now I have another one coming on the way. And I was like, they are still all on hard drives. And it is so upsetting to me that I haven't had the time to do with it what I really want. So this time we're getting art pieces made.
That's wonderful. It's very, very good to hear. But that's very typical. And, for people, I know with some of the, newer, younger generations that are coming up, they live in a digital world and they're used to having everything digital. But I swear when they get to be a little bit older, they're going to want beautiful things for their home as well. And,
yes.
I think it's lovely when you can actually use your own children and your own family as artwork in your home. That's just, I know with my own home, you had mentioned that I travel with my son quite a bit, and we've traveled all over the world. And I have some very, very large pieces, 40 by 60s and 40 by 40s of our beautiful black and white travel photos, very artfully done, as well as many portrait shots of my children up in my home, and every day I walk by them and they make me smile, and they're really conversation pieces. The way, if you have a landscape, of some sort, a painted landscape, it's never going to be the same conversation piece for, when people come into your home and they see the work on your walls. That's not going to elicit any conversation. But when you have a fabulous photo on your wall, that's very artfully done, you're just it will cause all kinds of wonderful conversation.
Yes, so true. Julie, Floyd, tell me, where can people go to find out more information about all of the Classic Kids studios and also your lab that other professional photographers can use?
Yes, our web address, the website is www.classickids.com. And the lab, which we were talking about, is called Besotted, and it's open to the trade only. So if there are professional photographers out there listening and you want access to some of these products, these proprietary products that we've developed, you can go to www.besotted.com.
Perfect.
And you can find us there.
Yeah, that's terrific. And it's BESOTTED.com. Julie, thank you so much for joining me today. I would love to have you on another time and hear all about your travels, because you are a woman after my own heart who takes her children with her and travels the world. I think that's wonderful. And I think you're very inspiring with the business that you have built over these years. Thank you so much, Julie Floyd of Classic Kids Photography. I'm Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy. And don't forget, you can check out the website, passportmommy.com, or follow us on social, Passport Mommy. More coming up in a few.
Passport Mommy with Michelle Jerson. Passport Mommy with Michelle Jerson is a show about the journey of motherhood. Joining you on your greatest adventure, here's Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy.
As parents, as moms, our biggest concern is always our children and our children's safety. So I'm very happy to have with me today Jessica Egerton. She is the Director of Brand Development for Cooper Tires. Cooper Tires is going to be providing essential and reliable equipment for first responders associated with the Gary Sinise Foundation. Hi, Jessica. Thanks for joining me today.
Hi, Michelle. It's wonderful to be with you. Thank you for having me.
Sure. So talk to me a little bit about the Gary Sinise Foundation and who are our first responders?
Well, our first responders are the brave men and women who respond to emergencies within our communities, and they're typically law enforcement, paramedics, firefighters.
Right. Absolutely. And how is the Gary Sinise Foundation involved with the first responders?
Well, Gary Sinise Foundation was established under the philanthropic direction of a 40-year advocate of our nation's defenders, which is someone we all know and love, Gary Sinise. And the Gary Sinise Foundation honors our nation's defenders, our veterans, and first responders as part of multiple outreach programs that they have.
Yeah, the work is incredible. So tell me, why did Cooper want to work with the Gary Sinise Foundation?
I'm so glad that you asked that. At Cooper, we recognize that the four tires on your vehicle are the only things that come into contact with the road, so they play an incredible role in your safety. And we felt that we really had a common interest in honoring those that we rely on, in this case, first responders, because they're counted on no matter the conditions or the emergency, and they have to rely on their vehicles in turn to get them to where they need. So because of our recognition of the safety and the safety of this equipment that they're relying on, we really thought it was a natural fit to provide this critical equipment, and in this case it's tires, to our first responders in honor of National Public Service Recognition Week, which is this week.
And that's terrific. And so indirectly, we as parents can thank Cooper for keeping our kids and our families safe and to provide the first responders with the tools that they need to make sure that all of our well-beings are the best that they can be in terms of when there's a crisis or something going wrong. So what can every driver learn from the relationship between first responders and their vehicles?
Well, as I mentioned, first responders are counted on no matter the emergency, and they need vehicles to be durable, reliable, and safe, just like the tires for your own vehicle. Cooper's been in business since 1914, so just over 100 years. And so what you can really take away from this is that, those 4 tires that we were talking about and the role that they play in your safety, they're a critical part of allowing you and first responders in this case to get to where you need to be.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So tell me, how can we get involved with the foundation?
Well, you can go to the GarySiniseFoundation.org. You can find out more about what they do. If you'd like to honor the nation's first responders during Public Service Recognition Week, you can volunteer. You can even make a donation on the website.
That's terrific, because it is such a great foundation. And like we both said, really keeping everybody safe. And so tell me a little bit more about Cooper tires, because as a parent, that is obviously my number one concern, is having safe tires for the car. What are some things that people should look out for when buying their tires?
I'm so glad that you asked that. Tires are basically shoes for your car, so there's lots of different types and sizes. You can buy tires specific for the summer driving, tires specific for winter driving, going off-road, even tires that are specialized for different weights or loads that your car, your truck might carry. So there's lots to know, and we recommend that before buying new tires for your car, that you can go to a place like our website at coopertire.com, where we've got an easy 3-step tool that'll help you get to the right tire for your needs, because they are so different, and your needs will vary depending on the person and the vehicle that you're driving.
Right. Well, that's very helpful. And I know if people would like to support the first responders or make a donation, like you said, they can visit the GarySiniseFoundation.org to learn more about tires for service vehicles and everyday passenger vehicles. Like you said, they can visit your website at coopertire.com. Jessica Egerton, Director of Brand Development at Cooper Tire and Rubber Company, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Michelle.
It is really so important to keep in mind the safety of your family. And that is one thing, that you take such good care of your vehicle in so many respects. And when a flashing light comes on somewhere, you make sure that you get that checked out. But sometimes you're not keeping up with your tires. And that is one thing that you always need to keep up with, especially as the weather gets rougher outside. So again, that was really informative, and I'm glad that we got to speak to Jessica today. I'm Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy, and don't forget, you can head to the website passportmommy.com for ideas. Maybe you're taking a trip somewhere with your brand new tires on your car. Well, there's a lot of destination ideas on the website passportmommy.com. Thanks for joining me today. I will talk to you more soon.
Passport Mommy with Michelle Jerson